Once I hit 64 and a half, boy, did my email, my regular mail, the snail mail, and text messages start blowing up. I instantly started getting bombarded with messages about signing up for Medicare. We can help you find the best policy. We can ensure you are working with a good insurance company. We can save you thousands, and the list goes on and on. Now, I do consider myself a little bit of a techno-geeko, and I try to keep up with what is going on to a certain part in the world today. And I knew that there was a lot of scam potential for seniors when it comes to signing up for Medicare. But man, I tell you, I had no idea it was as huge of a problem as it really is. And yes, I know some of them were not necessarily scams, but may have been from legitimate companies that sell legitimate services and insurance policies. But to me, the way they go about drumming up some business in and of itself is a scam. Whatever happened to opening up a store, an office, a place where I can go and look for your services and what you have for sale? I long for the good old days sometimes. Remember grabbing the phone book and looking for the type of company you needed services from. Yes, there were ads in there, but those ads also told a little bit of a story about the company too. If the company invested in the advertisement, and they weren't cheap to be sure back then you knew they were legitimate and serious. I also used to look at the name of the business, and generally I tried to avoid the ones that got number one placement because of some clever naming structures. This, to me, is kind of where advertising scams really began. AAA tire repair or AAA insurance company. They knew the phone book was an alphabetical order, so naming their business AAA got them seen before any of their competitors. And that type of scam still goes on today, but rather than naming their business AAA so you see it first in a listing, what they do is they get lists of individuals in specific demographics and get emails, texts, and postcards mailed out to those people at just the right time. And the fact that they all hit at once, you get bombarded with all of these, and they make it sound like the world is coming to an end, and if you don't act now, that exasperates the problem. Especially for people like me. As we get older, it seems we, or I, can get overly nervous and worried about certain situations in life. And I had already been looking at Medicare as a whole, and the options for Medicare, and the deadlines, and the due dates, and the must-haves, and all of that jazz, so much that at the point that I actually started to question some of my own answers. So yeah, I am ashamed to say, but some of those early texts and emails did get to me, and they almost got me to click. Notice I said almost got me to click. I didn't actually click, but the danger was real nonetheless, and we need to discuss that. One of these emails was actually pretty funny. No, this wasn't the one I almost clicked. We will get to those in a minute. This one came from an account like medicare.refund.us.gov at Gmail. Almost legit looking, right? And it said something to the effect of, "Hello, this is Mr. Smith from the Medicare Refund Department. We have completed an audit of your account and have discovered that you have made an overpayment of $7,568.25 and are due an immediate refund. In order to facilitate and expedite your refund, we need you to call us back at," and then they provided a phone number, "or simply click the link below in my signature to start the refund process." Then when I glanced down and I looked at the signature, it looked legit too. It had his name, his title, Medicare Refund Manager, a link to the Medicare website, a link to his almost legit email, and another link to click to start the refund process. Now, what is so funny about that, you ask? Well, I'm not on Medicare, and I wasn't at the time that I got that email. So, how am I due a refund? Now, the not so funny part is that this type of email probably goes out to hundreds or thousands of Medicare recipients every single week. And the unfortunate truth is some of those folks will fall for it. Another example of a scam text I got was simply this: signing up for Medicare is now easier than ever. Click this to start the sign up process today to ensure you do not get denied. Then they had a link there, one of those funny looking links, a short link. So how would you know if the link is good or not unless you clicked it? Well, my first rule of thumb is to never, ever, ever click on any links in any emails or texts, period, and that is it. I also have external images turned off in my emails, and for some, I have plain text only turned on. With plain text only, the link is not clickable. And by turning off external images, you are not persuaded to or accidentally going to click images with hidden links inside of them. The downside to this is that your emails are not all that pretty. They're not all that fancy. They're not that attractive to look at. And you know what? That is okay with me. Emails are supposed to be informative, not attractive, not full of ads and images and nefarious links. Again, I never click links in emails, text messages, social media, and those are the worst, even if it's from one of my friends. And yes, I even started seeing ads on social media for Medicare companies the minute I turned 64 and a half. Now, the one that almost got me actually came in the mail. It was one of those government-sized envelopes, the gray barcode on the bottom. You have to tear off the strips on the top and the bottom to open it. It looked legit. It had the correct name and the return address on it. It also had my full legal name, which most people that know me do not know my full legal name. So when I opened it, I took a good look and everything seemed legit. All of the wording was proper. All of the grammar was perfect, and it discussed the exact steps I knew that I needed to take and by what date, and it even gave warnings about scammers. And there were no links to click. It was a physical piece of mail after all. And there was a website, but it was the actual website to sign up for Medicare. And then it had at the bottom, as if an afterthought or a by the way statement, it said this: to expedite your application, you can call our toll-free number to talk to one of our knowledgeable representatives who can walk you through the application process. This should take less than 15 minutes. So I said to myself, self, is that right? Can I call someone and get this all figured out in less than 15 minutes? So I reached over and I grabbed my cell phone and I picked it up and I Google searched that phone number. And you know what? Yep, that quick little Google search proved this was a fake number and it was not associated with Medicare in any fashion. And I tell you this because that is how simple it is to get scammed by these scammers. I could have just as easily picked up my phone and called that number to see if it was legit. But how would I have known once I called? You see, if they can make it look legit, sound legit, and you start to think it is legit, you might be tempted to click, reply, or call. My advice is don't do any of those things. If you really need help, then go to the source. Go to the Medicare website. Go to your phone company's website. Go to your utility company's website. And there you will find the phone number that you can call and talk to somebody that you can actually trust. Now, did I report these scammers? Yep, absolutely I did, and I still do. Medicare has a web page right on their site and phone numbers on there too that you can use to contact them to report fraud or abuse. Now, did I accidentally report any legitimate companies as possible scammers? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. But if it looks fishy to me, I report it. If it looks like a legitimate business that is just trying to bum rush me and scare me into buying their services, I just delete it, I trash it, and I ignore them. I have also always gone by the MO of when I need something, I will seek out the business I need help from. I never buy from companies who email me, text me, send me ads in the mail, or those I see ads for online. After all, these types of advertisements you get online, on social media, in email, they are what is called targeted advertisements. Have you ever wondered why the exact moment your refrigerator stops working, you start seeing ads for new refrigerators? Or you start planning next summer's vacation cruise, and then all of a sudden, all you see are ads for cruises. Well, chances are you spoke to someone about it, and your dear old friend, Mr. Cell Phone, was spying on you and told all of those companies that you need a new refrigerator. And you don't even have to be talking to someone about it. Once you start a search on the internet about anything of interest or need, then the tentacles of the web are now energized and informed, and they know what you need, and they will let you know that they can save you thousands. Now, don't get me started on all of that. Now, if you have found any value in this video, please go down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. That really does help the channel out a lot.